Sounds good. So let's get started. Thank you all for joining another IGL webinar. Today we have wonderful three speakers. Ms. Aruna Madam from Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute in Chennai. She's Assistant Professor of Department of Mathematics. We're also joined by Dr. Sripriya Sundaram. She's a principal from SNPS Public School in Palakkad. And Mr. Mohan N. He's a co-founder, chief executive officer of Fluid Consultant Services in Dubai. And so they all have wonderful topics to share their experience. It's interesting that we have a school principal who's molding the school children to be ready for college. And then we have a college assistant professor, madam, who's looking at how to get them ready for industry. And Mohan sir, you are the beneficiary of both the school principal as well as the professor from college, because both of them are helping us to get the best student for the industry. So it's going to be an interesting kind of discussion towards the end. So first I would like to request Ms. Aruna Madam to come to the stage and share your presentation on this wonderful topic. I like your topic, madam. I think a facilitator, not a teacher, right? I think this is a modern way of helping the students. So we're excited to hearing from you how you are handling the modern educational challenges today, and we look forward to your presentation, madam. Just a moment, let me make sure that you can share your screen, or go ahead, madam. Please introduce yourself, and then Mohan and I will go in the backstage, and then we'll come back once everybody is done. Thank you, madam. Please.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the good intro about me. So I'm Aruna from Department of Mathematics, Dr. MGR Education and Research Institute. So I'm serving here for the past 11 years as an assistant professor in mathematics department. So we have seen pretty much of students from various states and various categories and various types of emotions. So every time, so every year, we could see the several number of students from different categories, and we used to observe them. So every year, what is the change we need, and we have to make them how they can gel with us in the current scenario. So mostly the people, students will come from across India, from Assam and that much of states to till Tamil Nadu, Kanyakumari, and various states of students we have seen. So as I enjoyed and I have come across that much of students, I just here to share my experiences with them, and just here to give you some tips how to motivate the students and how we can mold the students to come to our wavelength. So just I will share the screen. So is it visible, sir?
Yes, madam, it is visible.
Is it slideshow mode or in?
It is not in the slideshow mode. It is in the
preview mode. F5 is not working. Wait, sir.
You can put in the slideshow. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yes, sir? Now it is in the slideshow, madam.
Yeah. So I'm very happy and cherished to share my views about a teacher, a little bit what we can say, the upcoming technical term called facilitator. So far we would have been called as teachers, which we play usually the roles of imparting our knowledge or transferring our knowledge to the minds of the students. But nowadays we need to be served more than a teacher, to be a facilitator to them. Now, so we could see the transformation in technical terms: teacher, a facilitator. A student is termed as a learner today. So we should not be called as a teacher. and the student should not be called as a student hereafter. So we transform the terms to teacher to a facilitator and student to a learner. So I have pretty much of key points here. The role of a teacher and a role of a facilitator. So we are playing that role nowadays, encouraging. So as a facilitator, we should not frighten them, or we should not make them confused what we are learning and for what we are learning and for what we are going to learn all these things being an engineer. Since we are teaching for engineering students, I can share something else which I faced with that engineering set of students. So we should play the role of a facilitator here. So as a facilitator, we should encourage them to learn their subject actively. Some people would have come with the passion towards studying engineering, but some people would not have any passion. Just like that, they would have streamed into this by their parents or by the compulsion of their friends or their society. To have the society admiration, they would have joined this engineering and they would have chosen this engineering as a career. So for those of students, we should bring them together under one core called engineering. So it is not a ordinary thing to be an engineer and all, but we should make them to encourage. So you have come inside that field of engineering, but you should learn. But we should encourage them to learn it passively and optimistically. We should not break their views on engineering. Next, so in order to encourage them, we should also be an enthusiastic teacher, or I would say an enthusiastic facilitator to encourage them. First, we should learn how to be enthusiastic towards the student. Next, I would share some classroom activities, how to make them comfortable in the class. Then we should discuss what could be the types of learners we can see. Only we see two types of learners here. One are active learners and passive learners. Okay, active learners are, they will have the intention that they will learn everything at ease, but the passive learners won't be like that. So we would share my views. I will share my views about that. Now, so now we can see what is a traditional method of teaching. All of us know, usually chalk and talk, we go to the class and today's topic is this, we will do blah 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 and blah, we will finish the problems and we will finish the topic we have chosen for that day, and we will be coming back after chatting all this. So this is the traditional method of teaching. That is, we are going to impart the knowledge, whatever we have learned. So we will transform the knowledge to them. That is what so far all the teachers have done. Next, now the teacher's role has become, I would say, a wiser than becoming, what I will say, becoming harder. So now we should enjoy both. Our role is becoming harder than wiser. So how we will enjoy the learning, and we should encourage them to learn for the active learners. So first we should encourage them. Suppose if any person chooses mechanical engineering, so he may be not having any passion towards that mechanical field and all, but so for the few hours we should make them to come inside the mechanical department. What are all the advantages in that particular department, and what are all the future opportunities available for them in that particular field. So we have to grow the passion in him to activate their knowledge. Next, suppose if any person, if you are taking the classes in a passive way and in an enthusiastic way, somebody will not be having any interest in listening the class, especially the maths class. Being a maths teacher, I would have experienced this so far. But they will ask some silly doubts in order to interrupt us, or in order to provoke us against them. They would have been asking some unnecessary doubts, but we should not keep ourselves provoked. We should clarify the doubts patiently. Next thing, this is one kind of students. They will have some barriers, means I would say the language problem. So many of the North Indian students are from the East India side, that is Assam, Arunachal Pradesh. Some people will be having so much of language problem within them. In fact, they know English language better, but they would not be able to transform what they think to us. So in those sorts of people, we will be talking somewhat else in what Hindi or whatever it is, the somewhat known language, which we can connect with them. So we should use their way of, we should gel with them in their way of, what we can say, in order to clear their barriers, especially language problem. And somewhat they will be having some transition towards this atmosphere, to this Chennai atmosphere, whatever it is, whatever metropolitan city they are used to go for studying. So we should clear all their barriers mentally. We should prepare them mentally to be here. Next, promote students interaction. So most of the classes will be monotonous, like chalk and talk. We will be teaching and teaching. So we will give them some work assigned. So they would have to submit the assignments on time, but we have to avoid these sets of types of mode of teaching and all. So we should promote students interaction, means we should find we should form some groups among them, and we should make them interactive with us more, with the students. Next, so here comes our main role, the role of a facilitator. The facilitator, I mean, any student should come out of him with his own obstacles, or in any language problem or otherwise. We should be communicated easily with them. Any student at the back also, or from the front also, whether he is a good student or a bad behaving student, or if it is if he is a passionate student, whoever he may be, he or she may be, but we should be communicable at any cost with them. So we are going to play 3 roles as a facilitator than a teacher. First one, conductor. Conductor means the class taking efforts, I would say. The class taking effort means this pattern will not change at all. By taking chalk and talk, and we will play a PPT, or we will conduct some tests or quizzes, anything else. The conductor role will not be changed over years. But the next thing we are going to do is called a catalyst. Catalyst means we should, apart from mentor, we should play a catalyst to the lower grade of students. Lower grade of students, I mean, the students might have the good knowledge about that particular subject, and they may not open up. So for those set of students, we should be a catalyst in bringing them into the class and into the subject. Next, we should be a coach. A coach role is, they will have the basic knowledge about the subject, basic, we will have, usually the students will have the more knowledge or more methods of learning within them than us. So we want to pinpoint it, and we have to pick up the correct method of learning them. So we have to coach them. What is the particular right way of studying a subject in a shorter way? So we can use the shortcut methods to teach them how to avoid the time consumption, and we should, more than that, we should teach them the time management, I would say. Next, we should play all the above three roles as a facilitator. Conductor, we should be a catalyst to provoke them, and as the coach, we guide them as mentors. Next step, being a facilitator, we should always encourage the learning in the learners. How to, nowadays, formally we will say we are studying. Now, these people are saying we are learning. Study means, so we are somewhat we are doing it new, but learning means already we know something about that and we are updating it. So this is what this generation students are doing. I think they are only learning, not studying. Okay. Learning means we should encourage them how to learn new things and how to interact with that learning, already learned knowledge. We have to encourage them always. We will see how to encourage. So first, we should be ready to encourage the students. So the first thing is we have to plan ahead. That means if I want to take a particular subject on that day, I have to plan for 2-3 hours for taking 1 hour class. So I should first decide whether I am going to use a PPT, whether I am going to do only the interaction inside the class, or whether I am going to play a quiz with them, or whether I'm going to play a puzzle with them. Everything I have to decide earlier so that I can handle my class into my hand. Next, we have to set the tone. This tone is very important for all the teachers. Always, we should not be like rigid teachers. So, which the students may think this teacher is not approachable easily. That image we should not create among the students. We should be always approachable students, so that we have to set the tone. So what we are going to convey them on that particular class on that particular day. So according to our tone, so the way we are telling the good morning or wishing the students from the morning or in the afternoon, whatever it is, the tone itself will decide them whether to listen the class or to leave the class, or to present, not present or absent mentally. Next thing we should have do as a facilitator, listen and respond. Suppose if we are taking the class with extensive expressions and involvement, we should listen also what is going around the class among the students. Is there any chatting is happening? So of course we will enjoy the class and we will take the class in a proper manner, but the students, the mindset will be different for that day. So they will have any other obstacles, or they will be having any other plan for that day. So we should observe what the rapport inside the class. We should focus on the rapport, whether it is a good rapport with them or it is a somewhat we should not disturb them with that rapport. So we should listen and respond. If somebody is asking any questions or somebody is coming with the new idea than we had it earlier, so we should always listen them and we should respond them properly. We should not avoid them at any cost. We should always encourage them. So if you are coming with a very shortcut method than I had learned, so it's very well and good. I will encourage you. I will sit among one of the students and make them to take the class. So I would say he will replace my place for a while so that I will take rest. Next, debrief or review. So if 1 hour time is allotted for me, only for 50 minutes I will take the class, and the last 10 minutes is for debriefing on that day. So it is much more important to encourage the students to learn them, to be learned, and we have to make them active by debriefing. So if you are taking the class for the whole 1 hour and they will have nothing to look back what we learned today, what is going on that day. So watch it out, yeah. So this should not be the sort of questions the students should ask after I leave the class. So first we should be enthusiastic, as I already told. So whatever the problems we are facing with the management, of course, every faculty or every staff will be facing some problems with the management or with the higher officials and all. We should throw everything out of them whenever we are entering into that class. So we should be enthusiastic enough before entering into the class. So our gesture and our body language will encourage them to be active on that particular day and that particular class. So this is what the set of ideas we have. Make myself available to all the corners of the class. Suppose I am standing on a dais, even though I could see all the faces together, some people will not be available for my sight. This should be avoided. I should be available to every nook and corner of the students, that I am only focusing on that particular person. That image I should make to every one of the students, even though there are 80 students or 100 students, I should make. So this person, this madam is focusing on me only. So I should be correct enough inside the class. Next, publicly praise students. If anyone makes mistake, as teachers, we will scold them, or we will make them scolding always. But we should do this practice also, publicly praise students in front of their classmates and friends and all. So this will help them to come out of all their obstacles they are facing with so far with the set of peoples. So we should regularly practice praise the student. Next, encourage the students to reward each other. So this is only possible if we create a group inside the class. Suppose if there are 80 or 90 people in them, we should segregate them as a set of groups of people, so that we will create a competition between each and student. We will give a task. Whoever is doing it well and performing it well, we won't be encouraging or we won't be rewarding them, but we will encourage his fellow mates, will encourage themselves to reward each other. So if we reward a particular group or a particular set of students, this action will discourage the students not to perform well in the forthcoming classes. So in order to avoid this practice, we should encourage the students among themselves to praise their fellow mates. Next, so leave some room in the budget for giving small gifts and all. So I'm having the doubt whether this can be practiced in all the classrooms and all. Somewhat we will try. This is seem to be a new idea for me also. So somebody will make it or somebody will not be make it, but we can start practicing by giving small gifts, not for their birthdays and celebrating their personal days, but for personalizing their academics. We can create this. Next, so encourage students to seek our professional development opportunities. So what I can give an example for this, for example, IGL, I would say, if so, I can recommend some of the institutions which we already know or which we have tied up, which we have put MOU or which they are been already tied up with us. So we can encourage the students to seek the professional development opportunities with the particular companies or limited companies or whatever it is. For example, IGL. So in order to build their careers, in order to plan their careers ahead in the formally stage itself. Next, provide opportunities to take breaks. Suppose if the students are having continuous 2 hours classes or 3 hours classes, so usually we will say what that class, physics class is over. This is my class. I won't allow you for any break and all. This should not be the case. Even though if we take the class without taking any breaks and make them sitting in at any compulsion and all, they will take breaks themselves by absenting them mentally. So we should create some break time in between the classes, even though if we are losing our time. Next, give students a voice. So this I practiced by myself so that I can explain it better, I think. So suppose if I am entering into the class, so within 5 minutes we will observe what is going on there, anything else than in the previous class. We can easily observe what had happened inside the class, any clash has happened, or any interesting topic has had happened before my class, that I can observe. So I should ask what happened here before my class, or anything interesting thing happened. So I will discuss with them, and they will share whatever had happened, even though it is apart from my subject and apart from my role. So we will give them the voice, their own voice, to say them what had happened. They will share with us. Then after that we will take our own classes and all. Next, empower each student's strength. I think this task will be a very tougher task for all the facilitator. So usually we will be handling some 70 or 80 students together in a particular hour. It is very difficult to point out each and every student's strength. This we can practice only when, so we should give them some particular types of tasks and make them do it individually. So suppose if I am going to take any particular topic on that day, and the previous day itself, I will be sharing one note with the WhatsApp group or Google Classroom, anything else. So I'm going to take this particular subject tomorrow. If you are having any idea previously about this particular topic, you please come with your own idea, which is whether it is a PPT or whether it is a poster or whether it is a Google link, you just come with that. So we will first discuss with that with you, then I will start my class. This is what I will advise them the previous day. So I have what I experienced this much of classroom structures there. So usually some people won't be doing anything, just raw. They will come as raw materials. Ma'am, we didn't prepare anything. We don't have any ideas before that. Especially for mathematics, they will say we don't have any idea about this topic. We didn't study. So even though if we have studied in lower classes or first year or second year, they will definitely study. We didn't see this topic at all. But some students will come out with a great idea which we have never imagined we have come across that. So that sort of student strength we should easily identify, and we should empower that particular students or that pretty much of students and empower them to build the strength more. So this is what we want to emphasize. Next, usually your classrooms will be only a monotonous classroom having a chalk and talk, or we will be having a projector or whatever it is. But nowadays the classrooms have become an applied classroom. Applied classroom means it has become somewhat using some playway method. Even though for an engineering student, it has become some playway method to teach engineering or all the subjects in an applied classroom. So what we need to do here in the applied classroom is They should be, they do not want the teachers to teach them only. They want us to guide them in their already learned skills. Suppose if anybody is interested in doing any project in CSE or anything else, so they will have enough and adequate knowledge about that particular topic. They will be having enough number of projects. They will be having enough number of knowledge about that particular field. Only we have to do, we have to clear their doubts. If we try to teach them again what we have already learned, it is a very luxurious thing. These set of students are thinking, so we are making them foolish, even though they know it already. Every nook and corner they must have learned it already. Suppose if any person is entering into CSE, so they have planned much ahead what we are going to do the project in the final year, and what sort of placements will be available. So everything they are having the pretty much of knowledge about that. So only thing we have to do, we should guide them how to travel towards his what plannings and all. So we should only support them and we should only guide them. We don't want to teach them again what we already know. But even though we are here to guide and only support, but without a support of guidance of a teacher, the learning process will not be saturated. This, of course, everyone has to accept, I think. Without a teacher, without a presence of teacher, nothing will be possible. But there should be a presence of teacher. That's all. What is the main role? So far, we have seen the subordinate role, a facilitator, in what ways the teachers are playing. Now, the main role we are going to see here. So already I told, to offer support and advice when needed. This when needed is to be underlined, I think. Offer support and advice when needed means, of course, as I already told, they have a plenty number of projects or plenty number of ideas they would have made. Only we have to identify them and we have to lead them to whom he has to meet to achieve his plans and projects. That is what we are going to do. To provide the necessary scaffolding and teaching skills. So the teaching skills only we have to practice. So apart from usual chalk and talk, we should plan something else better than we have already using. The teaching skills only, I think we must be updated daily and daily. What are the new skills to be practiced and what are the methods to be followed to make the students align with the class. Next one, to enhance the individual skills to the students, the vital support. Again, all the 3 points have the core point as to support the students. That's all. So we have to identify the individual skills, the vital support, the necessary support we have to give to achieve their goals. So these are all the points I wish to see. Next, what sort of classroom activities we can make to encourage the students their 100% involvement inside the class. Suppose if you are giving him any task, suppose if we giving them to prepare a particular circuit and all, first, depending on the requirements of the task, whatever is required for that particular task, first we have to list it out. Suppose if you are asking him to prepare a circuit, first we should know what are the requirements for that task, and we should allow them to collect all that materials necessary for that particular task and allot them enough time or adequate time to settle them with the idea, with a particular idea or any innovative idea. And we should motivate them. Suppose if they are taking much time than the deadline, so we should always motivate them. Yes, sure, you can do. I'll give you one more day to finish, but you have to finish that task very clearly than before you planned. So if we extend them the deadline, but we can give the deadline or extension for the deadline, but that deadline must be carefully used and properly used. Just like that, we won't give them the extension or a concession for submitting the particular project, but they should be careful enough in and whether they are focusing on that particular topic, and really if they are doing well, and if they are really working hard to achieve that project, that we should make sure that the particular student is focusing only on the subject or task he is focusing. Then to work on the investigation, so even now and then we have to ask the development in that particular project. So I have given you the 3 days before, any improvement is there, we have to observe and make sure whether the project is improving or not. Next, as I already told, we should give them adequate time to complete the activity. So suppose if we are urging them to complete before the deadline, they will do the project just like that for a namesake. They won't have any involvement in completing the project with his full of knowledge and full of perception and all. So we should give them adequate time. So before that, we should work out on the project. How much time it will take. We should know the complete data about the project. Then only we can allot the students that particular project. Then provide the necessary data. Suppose if any student is coming with a particular branch of project, as a maths teacher, what we can provide, in in what ways we can support them. For example, I told it is clerk's table. So they will be having huge idea about the project, but the silly things about this table values and normal distribution, whatever it is, they will be lacking that knowledge, where to apply it and when to apply it and where to gather that sorts of data. They will be lacking in that. So we have to support them with the lacking space. So already I told, so we should discuss the types of learners. So one is dependent learners and another is independent learners. So as the teachers, we already know what all the dependent learners means. They must be the students with a set of slow learners, we will say. Whoever are the backbenchers, we call them as slow learners. And this dependent learners always need a teacher's support behind them, to hold them at the teacher's hands only. They wish them to hold themselves in the teacher's hands. Whatever the teacher instructs, they will finish that only. They will not go beyond that extent. So they will always need a tutorial in studies. Even though if you are spending much time in taking a particular problem in the class, but it is not enough for them to learn that particular topic on that particular stipulated time. Surely they will need a private tutorial. So after finishing his class, he will rush up to our staff room. Ma'am, this problem you explained it detailedly, but I couldn't understand what you told on that day. So all these dependent learners should need a tutorial inside the class, and they will not know the time management also. Suppose if any problem should be finished within 10 minutes, they will extensively taking it for half an hour, so that they will struggle at the time of writing their exams, final exams or board exams and all. So we should also teach them how to manage the time with the time constraint. This one. The third one is most of the students won't be having the third point, I think. Believe in fortunes and luck factors. Only the few students or few percentage of the students will have the belief in fortunes and luck factors, but we should not make fun of them. Also, we should not encourage them. But if we can advise them to come out of those fortunes and luck factors if he is believing unnecessarily. Otherwise, if it is acceptable to a small extent, we can allow them, but we should not make fun of them. Next type is independent learners. So this type of learners only need a support from a teacher and the guidance of a teacher. They don't want to be taught. So they will work usually with no supervision, no invigilation. They don't need any invigilation and no supervision and all. So they will do the work as they have planned it earlier. So they will be more self-motivated. They need even a teacher to motivate them to study the particular subject or particular topic. They must have enough ideas about how to manage the time, how to achieve their goal, and everything they will have. Only we have to do the motivation. But the only thing they will have less reliant. So there are two cases. One is to take positively and one is to take negatively. One is less reliant means they won't be they won't have any trust on his own fellow mates, whether he is guiding right or wrong. He won't believe in others. Only he will do whatever he is thinking. Another one, they will be very good enough people to set their ears, whatever the other students or fellow mates are giving them advices. So less reliant, usually they will not listen to any people saying wishing them to advise. They won't like advising people and all. What are the benefits of independent teaching? So surely these set of peoples will have improved academic performances. So we can see continuous improvement and development in their academics, and they will enable us to do different kinds of tasks. For those set of peoples, we have to be more prepared to face them. This is what a tough task we are meeting every day. So for there will be a particular set of people. They will always need a different task inside the class than the usual way of teaching. Next, so I came to the conclusion, I think. So this quote I always adore. The teacher must adopt the role of facilitator, not the content provider. So only this quote made me to take this particular topic in that day. So a teacher always should be a friend. He or she should be a companion, or he should be a mentor. He should be a what? He should be what friend. He should be a friend nowadays, rather than calling them as a teacher. So nobody is called nowadays a teacher. So everyone should play a role of a facilitator to the students, and always motivating them to build their future in a better way. This is what I think I would say. So thank you for the opportunity given, Krishna Kumar sir, for sharing my views. So I feel very happy to share my views. So once sir has given this topic to me, then only I started recalling myself, whatever we have done, I have done for these 11 years. And I recalled everything day by day. So every day I sit with an sit and think, I will get a different idea. On that particular year, I have done this sort of activity. On that day, we played this sort of puzzle and all. I recalled everything from my 11 years experience. Just I shared my views. If there anything to be corrected or anything to be you find any flaw, please do not hesitate to tell me. And I feel very happy to be a part of this IGL family. Recently I have joined this family, so this family has created many opportunity to me, even though in the music field as well as this teaching field and all. So I wholeheartedly thank the IGL family, especially Krishna Kumar sir and Sunita madam, for giving this opportunity. Thank you, sir,
Thank you,
and
madam.
wishing all of you a very happy New Year and happy Christmas.
Thank you very much, madam. You can stop sharing now. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
That was wonderful presentation, madam. Thanks for sharing your views and your experience on what has been going on inside the college. So at this time, we would like to welcome Dr. Sri Priya Sundaram. Could you please stop sharing, madam? I think.
Sir, I didn't stop. Wait, sir.
Go to the very top and say stop share.
So I couldn't.
Okay, now it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let us welcome Sri Priya madam to the stage.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, Aruna ma'am, and thank you, Krishna Kumar sir, for welcoming me on stage. I think I'm audible, sir. My voice is audible, clear.
Something is creating a lot of noise. I don't know.
Okay, some disturbance. Okay, so let me just go outside of my room and then present so that my camera will be off, so that my voice will be very much audible. I think it is okay, sir. Like
Let us try. I think it is probably something wrong with your microphone. That's what we'll try. Okay.
So I think good morning, everyone. I'm Shri Priya, Principal, Srinarana Public School, Palakkad. Now it's audible. Are you able to hear me, sir? Everyone?
No, it's very bad, Sri Priya. Maybe
That's okay. Yes. Okay.
Cannot hear. There's a lot of background noise.
Okay, fine, everyone. I am Shri Priya. I just will shift my place so that you can visible. It will be audible for you very clearly. And since it is an interior area in Palakkad, I think there may be some range issue. That is what I meant. And I think now it is quite clear, sir. My voice is clear.
Now it is better. Please go ahead.
Yes. That is what. So that I can stay outside and change. So, good morning and namaste all. I think my topic for presentation is blended learning for modern education. And it is very clear that, first of all, I just want to start from education. What is about education? Mahatma Gandhiji, by education, he meant that drawing out the best of an individual from the body, mind, and soul. So what is best will be for us the best forever. And education, we mean that all thoughtfully lived life will be called as education. So all these aspects are very important before we move into the blended learning. Krishna Kumar sir, I think it is audible for everyone. Clarity is there?
We can hear you, but do you have a presentation to share?
Yes, sir. Next, you can please start the presentation. That is the first slide. Can you please share the presentation, sir?
Yeah, just a moment, please.
Yes.
Just a moment.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, I'm in your title slide.
Yes, sir, I can see it. I can also see it. Thank you, sir. And coming to the presentation, before going to the presentation, let me have the understanding of the cute and little word blend. The word blend is so cute and it can be meant as to fuse, to mix, to merge, to combine. It has so many beautiful meanings, and as we all know, learning is a continuous process. And blended learning, by combining all the methods of teaching, models of teaching, we will be able to educate the students well. And that comes under the sustainable education, where we preserve the education with values and culture of everything. Now, everyone knows in the current scenario, we undergo online learning, isn't it? So online learning is going on. It is sustainably protected for the development of future education. So lovely it is. So all we do now is online learning. In future, we expect the offline learning, the classroom instruction, everything is interconnected and it becomes the blended learning. Now with IGL, how we collaborate, US, we are in India, how we are dealt with the current scenario, it is for the global well-being. This program, this webinar is also a blended learning for everyone. As Aruna Ma'am beautifully presented about playing a key role in education, about college students. I'm a school principal, but wherever the learners are, they are very important. So as educators, we mold the faculty members also, we mold the students also, and this blended learning remains the cornerstone of all areas. In a simple manner, blended learning is a combination of face-to-face learning and online learning. Now, let us move to the elements of blended learning. Elements of blended learning, the next slide. Can you please move on to the next slide, sir? Yes, that is very beautifully represented here. Every teacher should know the different methods of teaching, whatever may be the level of teaching, whether it is primary or secondary, senior secondary, college, or like hands-on, whatever may be the means teaching level, the elements are very important. Let us take, for example, differentiated instruction. What is meant by differentiated instruction? A teacher, while addressing her students, will have to teach considering all the levels of students, maybe slow learners, maybe fast learners, average learners, whoever may be the learners, every learner should be considered in the heart of the teacher. That is what we say usually, teach from the heart, head, hand, and mind. That usually becomes blended. So that is called as personalized learning also, because depending on the needs of the learner, a teacher is planning for the class. And the virtual classroom instruction may be there, but it should be in alignment with the direct instruction also during the offline modes. A balance between the virtual and classroom instruction is very much important. And every sort of blended learning is focused on the learner, and it is adaptable and authentic also. Now, coming about the curriculum is the totality of experiences and it is future focused. And this assessment will be based on all these elements, as all elements are blended together. That is beautifully represented by means of various cycles of blended learning as the elements are focused. Here with this, we can have different methods of teaching, models of teaching, context, concept, whatever we wish to add as elements. It's purely innovative and creativity of the learner. That may be included in elements of blended learning based on the ability of the teacher also. Next slide, sir. I think my voice is audible, sir, without breaking.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Okay, thank you, sir. Next is, I think, multifaceted education. It is a beautiful word, isn't it? Multifaceted education. What is meant by that? What is the framework behind it? Alternative and innovative education. This 21st century focuses on 4 skills mainly: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. And when the education is flexible, every learner will be eager to learn, and it will be called as multi-level learning strategies. And before moving in deeply into it, we must know what is a learning objective, what is intended to learn. Very simple. What are the outcomes of learning? Does any teacher feel, have I taught correctly to the children? Did I reach the children? Did children get something out of my teaching? Did my learning objective reach the children? That comes as the outcome based learning. So outcomes of learning are very, very important for a teacher. What the students are able to achieve after my teaching, it's very, very important. It can be by various ways. For example, inquiry based learning. It is not enquiry, it is inquiry, getting deep into the subject or the topic and finding out the way. Discovery based learning. What do I discover from the learning? Activity based learning, and what activities I can do the best to make me feel free to learn without bookish knowledge. Play-based learning, as Aruna Mom told very clearly, play-based learning activates the children. Game-based learning activates the children. don't even think that always we think only of the kindergarten with activities and games. Even adolescent learners also long for play-based activities to avoid boredom of studies, isn't it? In our kindergarten, no, we usually sing the rhymes. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Still, we love it. Starting from the first generation to the fifth generation, the same rhymes, the same tune is repeated, even though it is not boring. Why? It is play based, isn't it? With actions, rhythm, we teach, isn't it? Basically, my subject is chemistry. That is what my area of topic in research is blended learning of teaching chemistry periodic table to class 10 students. That is what, to avoid children feeling bored, I use the rhythm of music to teach the children. For example, periodic table everybody likes. 1 minute example I can say is it contains of 18 groups and 7 periods. Mendeleev's introduced it and Moseley has modified it also. When I teach, no, children will maybe sometimes they may feel sleepy of this history of periodic table. So I will ask them to use the rhythm of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, because we learn with pleasure, we will never forget it. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Then I will change my rhythm as Mendeleev's introduced periodic table, Moseley introduced modern table. There are 18 groups in the table. There are 7 periods in the table. Metals are placed in the left of the table. Non-metals are placed right of the table. Children will like it. The class becomes interactive. That is called as interactive classes. So peer tutoring, one child can teach another child, one student can teach another child, like that. So it becomes a teamwork altogether and collaborative learning occurs there. This is the framework of teaching. Multifaceted education. It can be held in higher levels also. As ma'am told, no, engineering students also can create their own games using their own ideas of engineering or whatever the field of education may be. So we can move to the next slide about pictorial representation. See the beautiful, colorful picture. See the center blended learning. It is a mixer jar. Everybody can correlate the picture of a jar, how the mixer blends nutritious fruits or milkshakes as a product, as so many things, no? Blended jar is in the center. It connects all types of learning, connected learning, online learning, paper pen learning, global connections, project-based learning, face-to-face, natural learning, all kinds of learning can be blended together based on the innovation and creativity of a teacher. So teacher is the center focus where she or he can blend everything. It is not at all only for the education, formal education. It can be in informal education. It can be in non-formal education. It can be activity-based. It can be any of the craft, art. You need not be a teacher alone for education. You can be a homemaker also, connecting, blending things. So take this blended learning in a common sense, that what idea of making is important and how do I reach the learner is very important. And next is the significance of blended learning. It's very important. NEP, now National Education Policy, all have understood certain points behind it. It is universal accessibility of quality education, and information gathering occurs with HOTs, higher ordering thinking. Skills must be developed among students, and reasoning skills is very important. In order to create a knowledge-based global academy, there should be desirable changes in the teaching learning strategies through discussions, analysis-based teaching. Learning methods for holistic education can be invented by teachers themselves, and all these things are very important. What is very much important is the foundation, like philosophical foundation. Nobody should think that philosophy is outmoded. It is very old. It is traditional. Focusing philosophy is very much important. Philosophy means love of wisdom and knowledge. Always knowledge is very important, the basic knowledge. One simple example I can teach philosophy is by tomato. Everyone knows that tomato is a vegetable. Tomato can be considered as a fruit also. It's a knowledge that tomato is a vegetable, tomato is a fruit, but tomato should not be used in fruit salad. It is our wisdom. So easily philosophy identifies the difference between knowledge and wisdom. That is the greatness of philosophy. And child psychology is very important. What about the learner? Which stage he is, which category he is? Accordingly, the learning can be blended. that is called as psychological foundation, and sociological needs. 21st century learners are more smart. They are expecting something great, innovative, creative, apart from bookish knowledge. So with the help of this blended learning, we can help them, we can support them in all ways possible. That is called as the sociological needs of the 21st century learners. And moving on to the next slide, that is student-centered environment. It's very, very important. Why do we teach for the students, isn't it? Our majority attraction is our students. They are depending on us. So we educators have to create to the maximum possible a student-centered learning environment. That is very, very important. See, whenever we teach very well or based on the students' needs, the mastery is attained. Virtual learning platforms can be used. Inquiry, project-based learning, which arouses the curiosity of the children, is very important. Technology integration is very important, and global connections. How IGL connects globally. The students in school, we had IGL collaboration program with US students, taking a very simple topic like burger, basketball, sports, music. All relevant ideas can be connected and exchanged. Their views can be shared. So that becomes global connections. And student-centered learning environment prevails there. And as I told you, game-based learning is very important. Creating beautiful games themselves using Flash. So many techniques are there. They can also enjoy those game-based learning. And direct instruction. Whenever we feel that, as Aruna ma'am told now also, we can prepare the video lessons and send it fast to the children. Let them observe what is that about. Then the direct instruction, they will learn more. They will be urged to ask questions. So understanding becomes more smart there. And coming to the next slide, that is experiential learning and critical thinking. It's very, very important. Now, NEP says so many varieties of learning like experiential learning, art integrated education, competency based education, etc., etc. Where does this critical thinking comes? In this competitive world, every child should know about the critical thinking. That is what, how a child thinks must be identified by the teacher. Every parent has only one child or children, but a teacher has a set of 40 students, or in many classes, means how many classes she is handling. In her hands, she has some 200 to 300 students. A principal has about 1,300 children in her hands. How can we make them to think how to think? So that if our own child is not able to become an engineer or doctor, we can make our school children to become an engineer, to become a doctor, or to become a scientist, or whatever field they are, to become a techno specialist, techno savvy. It is in the hands of a teacher. That is what we say. You create a dynamic environment for the child to learn well and gather information. That environment becomes richer. The child will be able to learn better. That lies in the hands of a teacher. That is a genuine teacher only can do this. Curriculum, how can you transform curriculum? How can you transform teacher learning process? How can you optimize the available resources is very important. Now see, this COVID situation, we should thank really, because of this only we learned Google Meet, we learned Zoom, we learned to participate in webinars, conferences, live conferences, online, etc., within the available resources. Previously we say no net connection, or how can we do that? It is very minimum resources. Now optimization of available resources, within the available resources, what can be done? Only thing, we should have a mindset to do that we can do for our children. That is very much important. Now, strategic combination of different methods. Whatever you have the methods in your hands, techniques you have, use them to teach to the children, to the students, whatever category, industry level, school level, college level, maximum we can enter the hearts of the children with our teaching. Only thing, Indian education is very bookish. Even in engineering stage, it is very bookish. That is what we say them, to create the practical awareness, as ma'am said now, through projects, conduct the interviews on practical skills, so that children will be able to perform themselves, not on the basis of marks alone. Marks are important, of course, but even then, our practical skills will show who we are and what we are going to do in the society. So achievement of specific objectives occurs with help of cooperative learning, collaborative learning, and integrated learning. That is, again, everything is connected to the beautiful word blended. A blend of collaboration, cooperation, integration will be called as your blended learning. Now coming to the next slide, modern education. Technology will be a supporting tool in the modern education. We can see that increasing learning mass. Lot and lot of people are learning now. See, in this webinar itself is watched by YouTube Live with so many students. I have sent information to my students, to the college students, maybe to the industry level, to IGL members. Everybody is sharing this resourceful information, isn't it? So education means that technology can be a supportive tool for everything. And there are wonderful practical opportunities for learners. Sustainable and independent learning occurs because of this technology. And technology enabled pedagogy is very important. Pedagogy is science of teaching, and with the help of technology, it is very important that competency based education should be supported by teachers. Every child should know what is my competency. Teachers should know what are the competencies of my children, whether he will be able to do better apart from this theory, why he is not able to study this theory, what skills he have. For example, multiple intelligence. Every child will have his or her own intelligence, not only in means academics, maybe it may be in art, music, or gardening, whatever may be the naturalistic intelligence. Any kind of intelligence must be identified by the teacher or the parent. So if you are able to identify the talent in your child, you will be able to make the child perform with his or her own caliber in this competitive world. The child will be able to survive with her or own intelligence. That becomes the competency based education. You are in the major responsibility to identify the competency of the child. Even though they are not able to come in the stream of formal education, we can make them self supportive, and through self paced learning every child can get the benefit of everything. Integrated pedagogy, you can integrate arts, sports, ICT in education. That is what is meant as integration of arts. Arts always doesn't mean the drawing alone. Music is an art. See, IGL started with the music, then we came with the charity, we developed into IGL hands-on technology, and everything now it is very, very moving well with the help of technology. So sports, ICT, arts, everything can be connected to education, and this comes as the blended learning approach. So digital literacy mainly means mixed context, mixed theories of learning, mixed learning objectives, and mixed pedagogies. We can say very clearly that technology can never replace a teacher, but teachers without using technology will be replaced by teachers using technology, as students want something innovative and creative in this generation. Now, moving to again music, my music, because I'm crazy about the music also, empowering students. We have to empower students, isn't it? I'm teaching +2 also, the chemistry. Some of the organic reactions will be very tough for the children. Whatever may be your subject, there will be some typical topics making our subject very tough to the children. It is our duty to empower the students using our skill. And music is something great. No? When we feel tired or when we feel nervous, tensed, we will move to music automatically. So many things are there, isn't there? So many songs are there. We can use these songs as a rhythm to teach children also. One simple 1 minute I will take to sing. Dil hai ki manta nahi. Very famous song in my school days or college days. So elements are there: lithium, sodium, potassium maybe. Lena K. I used to teach the keyword. Lena K. Road cross fear. NaMg, sodium, magnesium. Namaste Ji. Namaste Ji. All students, please study chemistry alert. Namaste Ji. All students, please study chemistry alert. Very simple. Children will by heart it, will love it, and we can repeat it. Everything is by hearted. Now coming to +2 also, organic chemistry name reactions, they suffer like anything. Aldol condensation, Canizoro. Nobody likes to hear the name of the reaction also. We have different names. We like them. We should also like them. Come on, turn a radio on. It's Friday night and on belong. Aldol condensation, Canizaro reaction, Finkelstein reaction, Schwartz reaction, Riemann reaction, Coates reaction, coupling reaction, Oates reaction. Phenols are converted to carboxylic acids. Phenols are converted to azobenzene. When I see the statement, no, children will feel, oh, very tough. Phenols are converted to salicylic acid. Phenols are converted to salicylic acid. Phenols are converted to azobenzene in the presence of sodium hydroxide. This is +2 lesson for organic. So let us empower our students. Let us teach the content through the way, how can I reach the children? I just remember the words in a conference, a student saying, if I can't learn the way you teach, please teach me the way I can learn. So blend everything, blend your content knowledge, blend your technological knowledge, blend your pedagogical knowledge, blend your all kinds of knowledge, including your contemporary subjects in schools. Now it is in process. Schools are now adopting artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic approach, environmental education, organic living. With the help of organic living, we are able to grow our own vegetables. In Kerala, it is very famous that each and every house has a organic farming now. After this COVID, particularly cultivating their own fruits and vegetables. It's very important for healthy living also. And global citizenship education, GCED. What is important is now we are doing. We are able to connect the US type of education, and through the Indian professors or Indian school teachers are able to listen, Indian students are able to listen with a very wonderful gathering of audience also. So blended learning combines the best teaching methods. That is what is empowering students. Students are the future citizens of nation who can change the entire nation into a working, into a user-friendly environment all along the nation. Avoiding this COVID completely, not avoiding COVID, anything may come, flood, earthquake, whatever may be the thing, we should have the guts in a blended manner together, teaching the children about blended learning and blended teaching. They can also blend everything, whatever they hear, and create their own learning to safeguard themselves and the nation. I think I'm able to reach you all. And in the conclusion stage, we have to say that in this much hyped 21st century, instructional methods and pedagogy are undergoing vast changes. We also know the same old traditional method, conventional method of reading the text doesn't help anyway. Surely, I think after this NEP, this bookish knowledge will be avoided. And nowadays, engineering college students are more practical based, and they are able to enter into the IT fields in different private concerns. Everybody need not be holding only a government services, and that everyone can have their own techniques and ideas to do well in this society, to perform well in this society. So only thing, there is a need to integrate IT, information and communication technology, ICT, into curricula for various subject areas. And so researchers still prove, because I have taken this blended learning topic in 2012 when I was enrolling as a research scholar. Still, I'm going to complete my PhD. The second doctorate, that is at March. I think I'll be able to do more because this blended learning has helped me more. Some of them will be saying, no, experiential learning, it cannot be connected to blended learning. No, I still say that every type of learning can be connected to blended learning. And whatever may be the name of the learning, art integrated learning, competency based learning, I'm 100% sure that everything can be blended under the topic of blended learning, which is face to face, offline, flipped classroom, whatever may be the web based learning, or everything is connected. Now this beautiful IGL is a blended learning. Insta Ghana Live, it is Insta Ghana Global Live, because we are able to educate a mass number of students. So I can say that blended learning approach is the best for the current technological educational era. Hope I'm clear with all my ideas. If you have any doubts, you can please also share with me. Thank you, sir. Thank you, IGL Krishna Kumar, sir, and all the participants for giving me this wonderful opportunity, along with Sunita ma'am also. Thank you. Thank you very much. I think
Krishna Kumar, I think you are on mute, I believe.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sorry about that. It happens to me all the time. So now we'll invite Mr. Mohan from Dubai. He's the CEO and a co-founder of Fluid Consultancy Services. We have heard from Mr. Aruna Madam from college, as well as from Sri Priya Madam from CBA from school. Now we are eagerly waiting to hear from you from the industry point of view. What can be done to make better engineers, better workforce in the 21st century? So, floor is yours. We are eagerly waiting for your topic as well. Welcome on board, Mohan.
Thank you all. Good morning, India. Good evening, US. I think it was a wonderful presentation from Aruna ma'am and Sri Priya ma'am, especially from the educational level. So my part is basically on the other side of it now. Basically, how do we receive graduates, fresh graduates from universities and colleges, and how do we mold them to start working with our industry? So let me go straight to the presentation. Okay, when Mr. Krishna Kumar asked me for a topic, then I was more interested, how to prepare a topic for this event. So I was more interested to give some input from our side. How do we receive, or how do we get candidates ready for industry like us? So this is one of the famous quote, I believe, more relevant nowadays. We have many students coming with a different talent, but all of them having equal opportunity to learn. That's what as per Dr. Abdul Kalam mentioned, so that we look at what are the different options available to develop our talents and skills, which is more required in industry. So these are the certain skills what we expect from a candidate as soon as we receive the candidate details and everything. The main part is like the technical, which we all know. We are getting a good trained student from colleges and universities. Apart from the technical skills, we are looking at the communication skills. How do we present yourself, your skills, how to communicate in the team, how to present your ideas. So these are the basic communication skills we are expecting. And a certain level of leadership skills also, like you may be part of a team, but you need to lead the team. So we are expecting a certain leadership skills also. Then in the current world, we are all working remotely, different locations, coming from different backgrounds. So all of them should work together as a team. So we all always look for team players. So that's one of the most important skills we require. Then how do you keep your good interpersonal skills? This is also most important to be part of a team, part of a project. So how do you maintain your interpersonal skills? How do you communicate within your colleagues, with your management, with your customers? So these are all most important skills. And like Aruna ma'am was saying, we need a good problem solving skills also, because we are all moving towards new technologies, new business requirements. So we may get more and more ideas on how to solve the current problems. Then we are looking at a self-managed candidate. So he should be able to manage his time. He should be able to manage his stress level. So these are the basic skills we expect. Then how do you be ready to be part of an organization? So this is also most important. Organization may have a different approach. They have a different vision altogether. So how do you be part of an organization and work towards the organization goals? And the most important skills now we all expect is learning and adaptability. Like we are all coming from a different background. We start working with certain technologies. Now, after that, the requirement keeps changing. Like in our case, like Sri Priya was saying, we had a COVID situation. Each teachers had to learn how to start giving training online. They should learn Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Google Meet. These are all certain things, came as a necessity for the situation. So we expect each candidate to be able to adapt to the new requirements, new scenarios very quickly. So these are the basic skills that we expect from a candidate. Now, considering the current, like CPM was saying about the blended learning and blended communication happening, these are the different types of communications currently happening in any organization. So the basic traditional one is telephone. Okay, how do you make a telephone call? You may be speaking to your colleague over the phone. You may not be able to express anything else other than your voice. So how you should be able to communicate using your telephone, mobile phones. Then you may be part of regular team meetings nowadays. It could be same for even classrooms also, like say, you are meeting your teams on a regular basis. So how do you express your ideas? How do you update the project status, your concerns, everything on a team meeting? So many candidates are hesitating basically, how to communicate. They may be coming from a different background. They are not well versed on certain languages. So these are the things stopping them basically be part of the team. They are very good in technical, they are good in concept, but they are unable to express it properly. So these are the certain skills we expect are happening in the current industry. And like emails, there are standards you need to follow, and you should be able to communicate what is exactly required, very crisp and detailed manner. How do you want to express the concept? So this is an email communication. Then we have a lot of online collaboration tools now: Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet. There are plenty of them. So there are different ways of communication within the online collaboration tools. Like you may be doing a video chat, you may be doing a text chat, you may be presenting certain project presentations. So how to use them, how to use it very confidently. Then we have instant messages. If you look at now, WhatsApp is becoming a very common communication medium, even in industry now. Many customers, many project teams are fully depending on WhatsApp during the project execution. So you should be able to know how to communicate, how to make proper status updates through instant messages. The another one is like we said, one-to-one meetings. These are also very important. You may be asked to meet the customer, maybe through an online video call. So how to express your concerns, how to express your project ideas to your team members, your customers, all are important. The next one is how to present it. These are also the presentation skills also important, especially in the current scenarios. Like you may be very good in technology, you may be very good in programming, but you need to present your skills, present your work, present your status to different stakeholders in the industry. The last one is basically the official documents. These are also very important, especially in terms of industry, how to prepare a project report, how to make a technical documentation. So communications are very important in industry. Not only how good you are in technology, how good you are in your programming skills, how good you are in your theoretical knowledge. So communication is the major fact how to successful in industry. I'm just taking a few. We are regularly interacting with many students or fresh graduates from in India. So I'm taking an Indian perspective. People are coming from, like Arnama was saying, people are coming from different states. They may have different knowledge levels. They have different language skills. So to be part of any project or any industry, if you're looking at in India, you need our national languages, what you call it, your mother tongue. Be proficient on your mother tongue. Then English is next level of important language. Then of course, as we all know, Hindi being our national language, very useful, especially candidates coming from South, they want to work in northern part of India. Hindi is considered or more used actually. So it'll be very good for them. Basically, you may be coming out of college and you're joining, you may be placed through a campus selection, but the campus you may be allocated maybe in Delhi, Noida, Mumbai. So, you need to be confident or comfortable when you're moving into a new city. You should be knowing the language of the city sometimes. So these are the things we prefer our candidate to be aware of or more confident about the language level. Then in terms of, especially if you look at an IT industry, we always interact with the customers from different part of the world. And these are the following, languages we commonly expect certain candidates, or we normally train them basically in addition to the technical skills. Some of them are Chinese, French, Arabic, Japanese, German, and Spanish. These are the very commonly used languages in certain projects. So when you consider, like say we have 10 candidates ready for an on-site job, so then the customer is a Japanese customer, then we always give a preference to the candidate who knows a basic knowledge of Japanese, because being an on-site candidate, you may need to talk to the customers on a regular basis. So they're also more confident about certain candidates coming with the basic knowledge, so they can easily communicate with them. So in Indian scenario now, I think many candidates are working outside. So this will be a good option to learn additional international languages. Could be as a starting point. So then they can learn extra if they move to the particular countries. Now, like we said, there are multi-channels of communication nowadays. So people should be having knowledge about how to present things, how to handle through email communication, text chat in collaboration tools like Skype, Microsoft Teams, how to be part of collaboration through video calls, how to prepare technical documentations. These are the basic skill set we require to be part of an industry. So that, and I know this slide is just to give you an idea. Basically, our HR department normally receives certain job applications coming from candidates, and when we communicate or contract a department, HR department is your starting point. So when you apply for a job, you should make sure that you apply for an current opening or clearly specify which job position you're looking for, and prepare a basic covering letter. You may not be required a 2-3 paragraph, or just give an introduction about yourself. Where are you from? What kind of background you have? What kind of training you have? Because in an HR department, we normally get around 800 to 1,000 CVs in a day if you apply for open a job option. So it will be very difficult for the HR department to even to filter out. So if you look at, we normally get like emails with just a topic name and attachment. We don't know what is the background of this candidate or what kind of experience he has. It takes low priority when it comes for filtering out this kind of applicants. So just to give you an idea, we are still receiving this kind of application. So maybe you could have a good orientation from the college level, how to apply for a job, how to send your job application, how to apply for an interview. These are the basic things we may not require basically. It may not be for the same for all the universities or colleges, but we are still receiving this kind of applicants. Now, India is looking at more startups. Maybe considering last 3 to 4 years or 5 years, many people are entering into a startup scenario. Like so, as soon as they come out of colleges, like Sri Priya ma'am and Aruna ma'am was saying, students have a good idea about what they want to do, what kind of problem they want to solve it. So they all getting ready for starting something their own. So when it comes for startup skills, you may have a good idea, you may have a good project concept in your mind, but you need to present it to different stakeholders. Like, normally when you have a normal an initial project concept in your mind, you need to develop that prototype, or you need to prepare a model for that one. So you need to talk to your friends or colleagues or some other industrial partners to help you to prepare that model. So you need to talk to them, you need to talk to the customers. And if you're looking for an investors, like angel investors or A-level investors, different levels of investors comes in, you need to present your project, how to sell your concepts and your ideas to these people, so that you can get more investment, more customers. So the presentation skill is very important for an entrepreneur in a startup environment. Team skills is one of the most important skills a startup person should be having it, because you should be working in a team. You may not be able to handle everything as an individual. You need to talk to them. You need to be part of the team. You may have conflict within your team, how to solve it out, this one, how to discuss with your team members. So each person may have a different idea. You discuss with them and agree on which module to be, or which additional features to be added on a regular basis. So these are a part of your team skills. How do you want to be part of a good startup team? Then the last one, basically, if you're starting something in India, you should be knowing basically the basic legal requirements, or your accounting or file returning basic requirements, like how do you follow the government regulations. So you may not be required everything in detail, but as a startup person, you should be knowing, because end of the day, you are responsible for your startup. And so you may be working with accountants, auditors, legal advisors and everything, but you should be knowing exactly what is required to be part of, to be followed in India. Now we are just giving an idea about what will happen when we recruit a new candidate to our industry. And on an average, if a fresh graduate comes in, it takes almost 3 to 6 months for an internal training within an organization. We give them an orientation. We'll try to find out the skill set they have, and we may be giving them a training for 3 to 6 months in a technical training. Slowly, we'll take them to be part of the project. So it takes almost 3 to 6 months for a company to get a candidate full-time into their workforce. If we have seen that, if certain set of candidates or fresh graduates, they're getting selected to the campus interviews, they get placed directly to the company, they go for internal training, and they start on. There are certain set of students, they may not get selected through campus interview. They come out of the colleges, they start joining some external training with the latest technology, especially in IT industry. They go on a mobile app development or React Native development. So these are all certain new skills they try to learn. So they pay extra money to learn these new technologies. So it takes them for some time to get prepared themselves to join a company. And apart from all the technical skills, most of the organizations start giving soft skill training, like how to present it. These are the additional soft skill trainings we normally give to the fresh graduates. So how do we reduce this, time to take them to a full-time workforce in our companies? We expect candidates to come with, certain industry-specific skills as soon as they come out of the universities or colleges. So what we expect them to learn new technologies, which may not be part of the curriculum, but if you look at IT industry, the requirements, the trend is changing maybe every year. The new languages, new programming languages required, new skill sets are required. So they can get trained during the college days itself. So that'll be easy for them. Like say we are getting 10 students applying for 2 jobs. And if you see that, okay, certain set students already completed certain training within the college itself, it will be an added advantage for them compared to other candidates. So then in terms of communication, that's what I was mentioning. We have so many colleges, universities in rural areas and in India. So they may not have a good language skills other than their mother tongue. So they need to come out of that restriction. They can start participating in certain public speaking forums in the college itself. Be part of certain debate clubs. You make mistakes, no issue. Just continue, join, like start speaking in English, start speaking in other languages. You present your ideas. It could be with your friends itself. You may not be a formal club in the college. You can start with your 10 friends. Start discussing about one subject. They can speak about anything. Maybe for cricket one day, about movies one day. Just start communicating. This makes them, come out of their shells and they can communicate well. And the last point, what we try to say is basically try to be part of more industrial training programs, during maybe their semester breaks, maybe your summer breaks. A lot of companies are providing this kind of facilities. So be part of the company, join them maybe for one month, 2 weeks. Just know what is happening in the industry. It should not be like, you come out of the college and joining a company. That should not be the first day in your industry, to see a company like this. You be part of, this training. You may go to one organization. You be there for 2 weeks. You should know the basic operations, how a company normally works. These are all things to give you a more confidence when you apply for new jobs. So regular industrial training sessions are very important from an industry side. We will expect in an IT industry, there are a lot of companies provide such opportunities. Students can come and part of certain projects. They can work from college, they can work from home. But these are all things you'll get experience, be part of a team, how to present it. Now, since I'm being part of an IT industry, certain things we expect, the new students coming out of IT skills. There are a lot of online platforms and available now to learn new technologies. It may not be available in your college, like Udemy, Coursera. These are all online platforms provides detailed video training. Like some skills they give up to almost 200 hours plus hours of video learning options available, and certain platforms like Coursera gives you a free courses if your college or university is tied up with them, so that kids, students need not need to pay anything for that one. And once you learn certain skills, you need to practice it. And this is what Krishna Kumar and IGL hands-on also trying to do now. There are a lot of cloud platform available now, AWS, Azure, Google. We can have a kind of a free cloud hosting options available with certain limited features, but still it's a good starting point. So this is what I think IGL also trying to do now. And once you are confident, the world is open. You can work as a freelancer. Maybe you can start earning some certain amount, maybe in part of your 3rd year or 4th year of your college. There are a lot of portals like Freelancer, Upwork, Fiverr, gives you small works. You can bid for it. You can complete certain projects. So you get certain experience and you get more confidence. Like, okay, let's start with a small project, maybe a job for 10 hours of development, maybe 2 weeks of development. you get a good experience, you get more confidence. You don't need to wait till completion of your course and you join in a company, start doing it. And we expect this kind of candidates which are ready for industry. That's what we are also expecting. And platform is open now. There are, and like Sri Priyam was saying, now we have an opportunity, connectivity is there everywhere. Okay, we have certain limitations in certain areas, but still you can learn at your own pace. You can try out your own things. It's ready available. You can show to the people in a company come for interview. You can say, hey, we have been developing certain applications. These are the concepts, you've done it. And these are the starting point for even for the startups in India now. So, they try out something even before completion of course, they know what they're going to do. So they can maybe as a full-time, they can get into a startup initiative after the completion of the course. And even certain startups in India itself now allowing interns to work on their own projects. They may be needing testers, they may needing certain application development be part of, because most of the startups are less number of staff. So they have more and more requirements. They want to try out certain features before imparting into their project. So they're looking for more and more, freelancers to start working on it. And websites like, I think Internshala is one of the sites. They also provide a lot of internship opportunities listed. So students can join them. You get more opportunities. Nobody's waiting for, the full course to be completed and get trained again to be part of a project. If you get as a company like us, if you get a Node.js developer ready from college, immediately he knows he has done basic projects. We can take him to the project site or project team next day itself. So these are all certain things. When it comes for 1 out of 100, if you're getting a candidate, we always 100% we look for candidate with experience and train themselves, so that we can easily take them instead of giving them a new skill training and everything. So this is what our suggestions, especially for IT. It can be for anything. It can be for mechanical engineers. They can come up with a project concept, start develop something. There are companies, they give, funding for even for startup ideas. Come up with some ideas, build a prototype you want to try out. So we are expecting students or candidates to come out with certain industrial experience. It's easy to get it nowadays. So that so as a conclusion, I would say a well prepared today will give you a better place in industry for the future. This is what we expect. So we are expecting early learners, opportunities there. I think wonderful experience is Instacana hands-on team. They have done wonderful projects. Some of them are even in school levels. So these are the platforms we should encourage more. Kids should, I know teachers are facilitators, like Aruna Mama was saying, we call them facilitators than teachers. They are doing their job well, underput with experience and everything. Let them start getting what an industry needs. Give them an idea, okay, what industry needs, what is expected from an industry. Don't wait for, the completion of your course, then start learning the new technology. Ma'am, Sripriya, it could be good for even school students also. There are wonderful student kids in class, school kids that are available. I remember in 1995, DataCos conducted a visual basic test all over India. So they were expecting a basic skills to be, people can draw a box, a square, everything on Visual Basic. There were students from 8th standard, 9th standard, able to draw a full picture of a brain. They could able to color it out, everything in Visual Basic. So this is what that's I'm talking about almost 20 years back. So kids are very smart. They know how to develop their skills. Like we said, give an opportunity, facilitate them. We will have a wonderful future. students readily available for industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohan. That was a wonderful presentation. We can stop share now, so we can get all the speakers onto the stage. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. So I've been collecting some notes, and I've been getting some questions as well from the audience. So maybe I'll start with Arna Madam. Could you please come on the stage? Also, I'll put it in the gallery view so we can all be in that panel. Wonderful. So yeah, so basically for Anna Madam, I was taking some notes. I think your concept of conductor, catalyst, and coach, it is so very well described. It's almost like, I think Mohan can relate to this. It's almost like how a supervisor in a company is, right?
Yes.
They need to make sure that their team is performing correctly. That's the conducting part. Catalyst, you need to constantly motivate your team members, your peers. Otherwise, your workforce is not going to be very innovative. And coaching, right? I think coaching is a very important aspect of making sure that their career path is taken care of. So I think some of those things that Madam talked about, they're very much applicable in companies. So I'm glad to see that if the same type of coaching is happening in the college, hopefully they will bring it to companies that Mohan, you have been talking about. Hopefully that will help us. On Sri Priya Madam's talk, I am very glad to hear about the technology-based learning. I think you touched upon it. I think NEP 2020 also talks about bringing in more and more technology-aided education. Artificial intelligence-based education is something that they are really focusing on. So I'm really glad to see that. And then Mohan, your presentation, I really like the overview of the requirements that you put out and say, hey, these are the kind of things that I'm looking for in a candidate. How can a school or a college can help me, right? At the end of the day, the companies are really looking forward to getting good candidates, and everything starts from the school and the colleges. So I'd like to give each one of you some flow time to have any follow-on questions among yourselves. So maybe I'll ask Mohan, do you have any additional thoughts, questions to Sri Priya Madam or Aruna Madam?
Yeah, I think even I was not expected that, okay, we have a very good advancement in teaching skills in India. Maybe I'm out of India for so many years now, maybe. But it's very good to know that. And I have seen that even during this COVID situation also, like teachers have been, improved themselves how to communicate. Kids are more smarter now, even online classes, they know how to be part of the classroom, may not be attentive. It's very difficult for a teacher to be, to see 40-45 kids screens in a laptop or a workstation and give attention to each student. So we have been seeing a lot of feedback from even the parents also. Teachers, it was taking some time for them to get to ready with this kind of technology. They may have connectivity issues at home, how to handle it. It's getting more difficult, basically, if you ask me. Rather than a classroom, online classes are more difficult for a teacher to be challenging, very challenging, basically. And I think our teachers worldwide, I think they are doing a wonderful job. I think this is what even very good. Even for university levels, especially even my son, he could able to complete one full semester, including the exams, everything online. So I think universities and schools are going on that way. Even work from home options are very good now. Even government levels in Dubai, the ruler has announced that certain jobs, even the government sector, will be full-time work from home. Especially for the moms, they have kids, they can work from home. They don't need to come to even the government department. So that means even governments are moving towards work from options, so that even teaching also, I believe, we'll have a good option to try out from home. I know we have limitations on communications, but I think maybe as a teachers, they may be able to give some good idea, basically, what are the other challenges they're facing especially on the online classes.
So maybe we'll ask Sri Priya Madam some of the
Yeah.
challenges we are facing in the online teaching. I think one of the things that I was going to ask was, you talked a lot about the blended learning. Are there any training program for the teachers to kind of bring out the positive aspects of blended learning? Is it something that you are anything that you could share in terms of how is the training happening in the school?
Yes, sir. We had Google Meet special training by the resource person of CBSE also, and private concerns publications have arranged how to utilize the Padlets or the resources through Google Meet, Zoom, everything. Complete training was given for all the teachers of our
Okay.
school. Then only they will be able to clarify themselves, and we had a section meetings and subject meetings so that they can clarify within their peer teachers also. And our IT department has worked very well. We have a coordinator also, and through those trainings, initially they had the classes within teachers itself. Video lessons were practiced by the teachers in subject groups, and lot of initiatives were taken. Observation was by the principal and vice principal. We took some video lessons ourselves and practice on all these things only, made the teachers very smart. Because parents will observe. They had a fear initially that Google Meet classes will be observed by parents, not only the students. So this made the teachers feel more alert and active that my parents will be observing it. I have to keep my school's trade name. All these made them very sincere, sir. So the sincerity goes to teachers also, and everybody as a team. That is collaboration, as IGL says. So we are able to do that.
Thank you very much, madam. So,
Yes.
a question to Aruna, madam. You talked about being a facilitator. How are your students taking that? When they see that it is no longer a traditional teaching, but it is more of a facilitating. What is the students' reaction from your point of view? Do they like it, or are they surprised that it's a new way of teaching? What are your experiences when you say, I'm not a teacher, I'm a facilitator, I'm here to guide you, I'm going to give you a lot of options and guidance? What is students' reaction from your point of view?
So it was very nice. Then we were playing a role of a teacher. So they had a lot of encouragement towards us. Ma'am, this mode of teaching is very good than you were teaching earlier with chalk and with chalk and talk. Ma'am, it's better you play PPT. So they are feeling very comfortable with the PPT. So just they were doing both of the works together while they were writing. We'll be teaching on the side. They will be doing both the works together.
Okay.
That saves their time. This is one of my point of view. And
Sure.
another one, this pandemic period is becoming worse, no?
Mm-hmm.
So in this period, so we also practiced for this online teaching and all. So this Gmeet teaching and online teaching and Google Classrooms play a vital role in for vitaling the facilitator role, I would say. The facilitator role is much comfortable than the teacher, but we have to update. That is only the
That's true.
that is only the problem we are facing. If we were only the teachers, we are not in the mode to update ourselves with the recent technologies and all. So
Exactly.
formally for 3 years before itself, we were not using Google Classrooms and Zoom meetings and Gmeets. So we don't even know the names of Zoom and Gmeets and all, GZR. What is a GZR and all? But quickly we learned a lot. This pandemic has taught a lot. Taught a lot of why we should become a facilitator than a teacher. So students are enjoying this mode of teaching, and we were also, I would not say we were enjoying, we were much struggling in the earlier stages, but we are much more comfortable with this type of teaching, and we trained. We are getting trained along with the students by the management.
Very good, madam. That's wonderful. I think that's very, very encouraging news to hear from a professor like you, who is in the front line for all the facilitating aspect of the college. So I think you also talked about one of the challenges in identifying the student strength, right? How do you know each one of the students' strengths? So let me ask a question to Mohan. And how can somebody like a technology can help? Like if there are 80 students in the class, what is your view of how can, let's say, whether a Google Meet or a Microsoft Teams, can the technology help in with the teacher or the facilitator in solving some of these problems? What are your views, and how can the technology, can it even help? Is the question.
I would always say teachers are the most number one options, to identify a student, because we cannot replace the human factor. So
Correct.
that's most important. We can bring artificial intelligence. We can go through certain scenario-based questions regularly. We can find out how they react to the certain questions. From there we can identify, okay, this may be good in analytical reasoning. They are good in certain subject. These are all options. We can basically give a suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's teachers. That's what I would say. Who are the final go and say that, okay, this person can be considered part of this skill set, or he may need more training. We can come with a lot of technologies, but at the end of the day,
Right.
it takes time to do a self-learning in the system itself, so that teachers cannot be replaced. So that's what
I tend to say. Teachers' role cannot be replaced by any technology.
Yes.
Technology.
But teacher should be there. Also, technology also should be there.
Yeah. Technology can support them, but
yeah.
Today.
Very good. One last question to the entire panel. I think we talked a lot about communication, presentation. I think it all goes back to fundamentals, right? Are you able to read, write, and communicate and present properly, whether it is in the elementary school or middle school or high school or college? So sometimes we feel that by the time the student comes to the college, it's kind of a bit late, because they lost a lot of time in doing some of this stuff. So I'll ask Sri Priya Madam, what are your thoughts in the school system? Or there, I know a lot of, you're also a lot of under pressure to complete things on time. But how much emphasis needs to be given or should be given for the three fundamental things like reading, writing, presenting, whatever they do, whether it is art, science, or whatever it is? What kind of things are happening in your school, for example? How do you promote this type of continuous communication skills?
Very good question. It's nice also because everyone should have a knowledge about this 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Only thing I told you already, that is Indian education is bookish in nature. Lot of content is dumped into the children, the minds of the children, and they are not free to respond also, because not because of the teachers, because of the curriculum and its structured one.
Sure.
So even though we structure it so tight such that children have lots and lots of memory, they have to by heart everything like anything. And the LP education, according to CBSE or the national wide, it is called as, it should be joyful learning or happy learning.
Okay.
That is not occurring. That is not occurring at all. And once the syllabus is dumped, we also change to this knowledge, giving again. Teachers also. So teachers are also pressurized to complete the portion along with the 3 R's. They are making them to read, write, and arithmetic. Everything is okay. Only thing, when they come to higher classes, self-directed learning should occur. That is very, very important. Only when we make them children to do the self-directed learning, they will be able to do this bookish learning along with the memory, rote memory, along with the practical skills also. So there is a major part from the student side. That is what, after completing the UP stage, secondary school, before they reach, children are fed up of the studies in India particularly. That is what I feel, that NEP should be focusing on the practical skills. That is what, after entering the engineering stream also, they are not able to get good marks or on the practical based. So just Mogarishan sir, if I want to clarify, in the mark sheets we are appointing the students, but those children who are not able to get good marks in engineering will be able to do practicals well on the industry based. There is no solution for such students. So those who are lagging behind in engineering or something like that, they are not able to get appointment in industries or like that. So they are suffering like anything in this way. School level, we are pushing them and pulling them, spoon feeding them, sitting with them, all we are guiding them and making them to survive in this society, getting good marks and the skills also. But once they enter the college level, when the syllabus again bookish only in the Indian syllabus, again curriculum, so they lose in their academics also slightly. This gap has to be filled. school level, college level, then only our Indians or something nation level, the things can be changed, and not only students, we can have the best citizens of nation also. So that is what my idea is. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. That was wonderful. So maybe now it's time to kind of wrap up. So I'll ask each one of you to give your feedback on the overall presentation, overall topic, overall conversation, overall webinar. I'll start with Mohan. Maybe you could share your thoughts on today's session. That'll be great.
I think, to be very frank, we never seen other presentations before this event. So as soon as I started seeing, almost all the slides are somehow related, like say, even though
exactly.
two were from academician and one from an industrial person, all of them are especially trying to reach on similar points. So this was very interesting for me also, that went through. And like I said, we all need input from academics, like from universities and colleges. These are the starting point for any industrial person. So to become the base and experience or basic idea should be there from the colleges and schools. So we are always depending on our education system. We're slowly improving now. We are more into now practical based trainings also coming out now.
Right.
So as a base, education is the base for any industrial progress.
Very well said. Very well said, Mohan. Thank you very much for your concluding remarks. We'll ask Sri Priya Madam, your closing remarks, comments on today's topic.
Yes, sir, very nice. I think Arna ma'am started beautifully. It was the college level topic, but the role of facilitator, that means in education, it's a common topic. It can be applied to all. And then comes the blended learning school. 3 varieties I could observe. One in college level, one in not exactly in school level, but also can be applicable to all. The third one is regarding the industry placement, and that is higher level of education. I think this webinar has covered all the levels of education: school, college, and then industry placement. So by watching this, I was able to gain a lot of knowledge about, according to next completion of my children, what they will be able to do in college, how they should be in classes, etc. So this gave me a wide opportunity to observe Arnam's class also, and next Morgan says also. The topic is very nice. In industry, what all things have to be done, how the children should be molded, how they should be developed by all sorts of ideas. So a pool of resources of information has been gathered here. That is blended because of this IGL webinar. So I feel very great also. All 3 topics were connected, not restricted to their topics alone. We were able to integrate and connect with each other's topics, and hope the session was very nice and helpful to all other means who have watched this also live.
Thank you, Sri Priya Madam. We'll ask Arna Madam for your concluding remarks and comments on the webinar, Madam.
So I echo what Sri Priya ma'am told and Mohan sir told. So I gained a lot of knowledge from Sri Priya ma'am also, and Mohan sir, technically how it is possible to place a particular student in industry also. So far I have not trained in placement and all. So I gathered some knowledge in from Mohan sir's talk, and Sri Priya ma'am's lots of tips you gave. Thank you, ma'am. So I need to follow that some of your tips. It seems. As both of them said, we could see the connectivity between all the 3 topics. So
Exactly.
we are almost gathered together at a coincident point. So there is a coincident point in all the 3 topics. So I should thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity. So since for the last time, I can able to recall all my memories.
Very good. Thank you very much, Madam. So once again, thank you all, Mohanan and Arna Madam and Sri Priya Madam. Thank you very much. So with this, we'll conclude. We'll hope to see you come back and do present your experience whenever you have time. And we are more than happy to accommodate you. Thank you very much. With this, we'll close today's webinar.
Thank you all.
Have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you, IGL.
Bye now.